Wisconsin has done pretty well in the round of 64 recently. Under head coach Bo Ryan, they're 9-1, and much of that is due to Ryan's mantra of next. Players say he expects them to look at these tournament games the way they do any other. And next on this court is 16th-seeded Coastal Carolina. The Badgers and Chanticleers will meet on the hardwood for just the third time ever in the history of the NCAA tournament. A 16 seed has never beaten a 1 seed, and the Badgers, of course, don't want to be the ones to change that.
In the NCAA tournament, it's a nerve-wracking time, but it's more, nervous excitement more than anything. You're just excited to go out there and play, but if you don't play well, that could be it for your whole season.
Still, with the goal of a national championship in mind, it's hard not to look ahead.
We've talked about where we want to be. You don't make goals if you don't look ahead, but we can't look too far ahead because we got a game tomorrow, and that's the most important one on the agenda right now.
Wisconsin will once again be without Trayvon Jackson. The senior guard has been medically cleared to play, but made a personal decision not to return this weekend.
I don't need to rush anything. This is not a do or die type of situation for me, and for our team, like I said, it's a one day at a time in the process, and I'll be ready when my opportunity is there.
We're playing so well right now. We just need Trey to be the emotional leader he's been throughout the season. When we look at a guy like Trey and see how he's handled the whole situation with positivity, that obviously lifts up the spirits of everyone else. So I think some wins will do good for him.
No doubt wins would be good for the entire Badgers team as they look to take one more step closer to a national championship. In Omaha, Veronica Rohrmoser, 27 News. The Badgers pride themselves on being a balanced, fundamentally sound team. It wasn't always the case Sunday night against 8th-seeded Oregon in the round of 32, but when it mattered most, Wisconsin went back to the basics that have made them so good all season long.
I knew they were going to throw a lot of different things at us. We knew they'd play a matchup zone. We knew they were going to throw double teams and triple teams and pressure us up and down the court. That's their style. And when that happens, there's bound to be a lot of missed shots.
For a team that doesn't usually foul, Bronson Koenig got into trouble with 3 fouls early, and with Trayvon Jackson still on the bench, that opened the door for Zach Showalter. He had a career-high 5 rebounds and added 5 points and 2 assists.
Coach always preaches, add. When you come into the game, whether you're starting and you come out and you go back in, add, or if you're a bench player coming in, add something, add energy, whatever, rebound, deflection.
I knew going into this game, Josh and B might get in some foul trouble because Joe Young is that good of a player. So I was prepared, and it felt good to get in the first half, get more comfortable, and then by the second half, I was ready when I got the ball.
The Ducks' Joseph Young put up 30 points on the night, and as Oregon tied it up at 52 with under 6 minutes left in the game, it looked as if Wisconsin's road to Indy might come to an end. But some key stops and perhaps a little luck kept the Badgers out in front.
And I was lucky enough to be in the situation where I was able to get a steal, and then Josh came down and got another one, and it kind of really helped us win that game.
I was just trying to dial it into the defensive end, try to just do whatever you can, and those 2 plays definitely stand out where we got steals and we got rebounds when we needed to.
So this sweet victory might taste a little sour now for the Badgers, who know they have plenty of work to do ahead of the Sweet 16 and 4th-seeded UNC on Thursday. In Omaha, Veronica Rohrmoser, 27 Sports. If the Badgers want to punch their ticket to the Sweet 16 for the 2nd straight year, they'll have to go through Oregon for the 2nd straight year. Last year, the story went something like this: the fast, athletic Ducks versus the slower, defensive-minded Badgers. And after putting up nearly 90 points on a scrappy, fast-paced Coastal Carolina team Friday night, you might think things have changed for Wisconsin.
That might still be the case. We're a defensive team first, and we understand that. So we understand that if we're going to win the game, it's going to be on the defensive end. So that's how we're going to approach it.
And they're going to have to be tough against the Pac-12's leading offensive threat, Joseph Young.
It's going to have to be a team effort on defense. One guy's not going to be able to stop him. He was the Pac-12 player of the year for a reason.
Young, however, is Oregon's only returning starter and one of just 2 guys who played against the Badgers last year.
Last year to this year, I feel like this team has a lot more toughness and a lot more heart. Even though, last year the team was pretty good. But I feel like, we gave up on some plays last year. We didn't play the whole 40 minutes. And I feel like this team is, more active and more ready to play.
Well, they have different pieces, obviously, but still the same
philosophy is still the same type of players. But all the guys that they have who interchange play very similarly, and Coach Allman still runs the same system, so it's the same type of team.
So while Wisconsin is having deja vu as they once again prepare for Oregon, they're also hoping to have a little deja vu when the final whistle blows, once again moving on to the Sweet 16. In Omaha, Veronica Rohrmoser, 27 Sports. Well, as most expected, the Badgers are marching on in the NCAA tournament, beating Coastal Carolina 86-72 in the round of 64. But Wisconsin knew going in, the Chanticleers were not your typical 16 seed, and they showed that early. Coastal Carolina took an early lead thanks to Wisconsin native Josh Cameron, who had all of the Chants 8 points, while Wisconsin went cold, shooting 4 of 11 and 1 of 6 from beyond the arc.
I thought they were a really good 16 seed. Honestly, I think they could have been ranked higher. But defensively, like you said, they were really active. They really pressured us, with the full court pressure or just in the half court.
But the Badgers' height advantage quickly came into play, and that front court took over. Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, and Nigel Hayes combined for a total 62 points.
We knew we had the size advantage. We wanted to go inside, work from there, and we were able to do that and set the tone for the game and hopefully for the tournament.
Hayes added a career-high 8 offensive rebounds, all in the first half.
He was all over the place. He just showed his effort, how much he was getting after it, and just outworking the other team, getting a lot of tap backs to us.
Every team needs a guy like that to, those garbage points and everything like that. So, yeah, he did a really good job tonight. Hopefully he can keep that going.
The mood was somber after the game, as the team knows they have work to do moving forward.
We just expected more of ourselves with some stuff, and this type of thing happens once in a while. They came in with a lot of energy and gave it to us right away, and we didn't respond as well as we'd like to, but that's why we have another game to play. When tomorrow's another day, the sun's going to come up, and we'll get better on the practice floor, and then go and hopefully get a win on Sunday.
So Wisconsin quickly turns its attention to 8th-seeded Oregon. Sunday's matchup will be a rematch of last year's round of 32, and if it's anything like that game, Wisconsin will no doubt be expecting a battle. In Omaha, Veronica Rohrmoser, 27 News. Who says winning has to be pretty? Well, that was certainly the case for the Badgers Sunday night here in Omaha as they narrowly escaped 8th-seeded Oregon in the round of 32, 72-65. The Ducks, led by Joseph Young, went on a 19-11 run to end the first half to cut Wisconsin's lead to just 3 going into the locker room. But the Badgers knew it would take an entire team effort to control the physical, athletic Ducks. 4 different players scored in double digits, while Wisconsin's bench contributed 9 points and 8 rebounds. And while it certainly wasn't a perfect performance, the Badgers stepped up when they needed to most.
I'm very proud of these guys. That was a tough game, pretty physical. Some things got away from us, but we were able to corral all our talents and get it done.
As a good team always does, they're going to come out and make a run, and the good teams are the ones that can respond to those runs. And I think there might have been a timeout in there somewhere, and Coach tells us settle in, and we have guys that aren't going to get too riled up. We're just going to stay the course and play our basketball. We got a big 6-0 run there, like you said, and open up the lead. Got a few stops and held it on from there. So it's a game of runs, and just got to be able to respond at the right times.
I mean, it just speaks to how good this team really is. We can, play really bad at times and still pull it out.
So while the Badgers may have pulled this one out, they certainly have work to do as they look ahead to Thursday and 4th-seeded UNC in the Sweet 16. In Omaha, Veronica Rohrmoser, 27 News.